Well, the expansion draft is just around the corner. And to speak about what might happen with the Vancouver Canucks, we'll bring in Satiar Shah. Sat, let's assume the Canucks will protect 7, 3, and 1, and they lose a forward. If you're the Canucks, who do you least want to lose? Gadjevich, McEwen, Lind, or Highmore?
Well, if it's up to me, Murph, I would least like to lose Cole Lind at this point. He's shown decent progression through his AHL career. He's a guy that can play a bottom six role. He's a homegrown player they drafted in the second round and potentially could be a cheap, decent option for you in the bottom six if he continues to progress over the next couple of years. Now, for the Canucks themselves, though, Murph, I wouldn't be surprised if they like Matthew Highmore. You saw how he added speed to that bottom six group. He can kill some penalties. I think the coaching staff liked him. So for the Canucks themselves, if they don't add any players, I could see Matthew Highmore being the player they most like to hold on to.
The Vegas expansion draft actually worked out pretty well for the Canucks as the Golden Knights took Lucas Sbisa, and the Canucks kind of wanted his money off the books anyway. Is there a best case scenario this time around?
Well, the truly best case scenario would probably be someone like Louis Eriksson, that's $6 million cap hit. That's not happening, Murph. But something that could be interesting, and we saw the Seattle Times report this as well recently, that maybe, just maybe, they have interest in taking Braden Holtby. Now, from a cash perspective, the $5.7 million would be a nice little alleviation of stress for the organization. And also the cap hit was just over $4 million. You clear that up and Seattle takes him. All of a sudden, you get extra cap space, and perhaps Mike DiPietro can be the backup to Thatcher Demko, but it would allow you to use that money to improve the defense or the forward group. So Holtby would be the best case scenario.
It's not going to be that expensive for Vancouver, this expansion draft, but for some teams, it will prove costly. So can the Canucks put the screws to one of these teams to get a player that they don't want to lose for free?
I can easily see them doing that, and I think they are going to be pursuing that quite aggressively. And if you look at, we just talked about the 4 forwards, one of them you want to keep, and honestly, you can upgrade all 4 of those guys with the right acquisition. And on the defense, well, Ulevi's a third player being protected, and I like him, but you maybe find a better defenseman to protect potentially via trade. Now, a few guys I keep an eye on for the Carolina Hurricanes, and I mentioned this back on the TV broadcast, Steven Lorentz and Warren Foegele, 2 cheap options in the bottom 6 who could potentially help you. And what about the Tampa Bay Lightning? Can they hold on to Matthew Joseph? Can you maybe get a player like that out of a good hockey team that needs an elevated role on a better team? Those are the types of players, Murph, I try very hard to acquire if I am the Vancouver Canucks.
It shall be very interesting. It's going to be a busy week when it comes up, the expansion draft, the draft, and the start of free agency. Thanks, Sat.
Thank you, Murph.